Hello everyone, today is Wednesday afternoon, Daled Elul, the 4th of Elul in Moshav Ma'on in HaChevron. Another year had passed since we last celebrated the Yamim Noraim, the Chagei Tishrei, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur and Sukkot. And many things have changed. Hopefully most of us have become better people, reflected what we've done in the past and trying hard to become better people, to be more sensitive, to really understand and work on ourselves and to be better. Sometimes we're able to do it, sometimes we are not able to do it, but we have to struggle, we have to do our best to challenge ourselves and to become more sensitive and better people, and to take into consideration what happened in the past. But today I want to speak about something else. I want to speak about the sentence that you're saying after Neila on Yom Kippur. Then we say, B'shana haba b'Yerushalayim habnuya, next year in Jerusalem. And now when we're in Elul, like the month of Tshuva, like the month of repentance before the Chagim, what's the kavana of the sentence Shana haba b'Yerushalayim habnuya? Where did it come from? And how can we use it today? The phrase was first recorded by Yitzchak Tumai in the 15th century, meaning a long time before we even had a Jewish state or any way to visit Yerushalayim like that on a normal way, something that was natural. Then we say B'shana b'Yerushalayim habnuya, was longing, was wishing, we want to come to Yerushalayim, yearning for something we couldn't have. Today, in our days, Baruch Hashem, we have a state. You can agree with it, disagree with it, like it, dislike it, doesn't make a difference. And we can go to visit Yerushalayim, to the Koisel. It's there for us. So what's the case with B'shana haba b'Yerushalayim habnuya? Especially for the Jews living in Chutz La'aretz, that with their own free will decide, still wants to live in the Galut in Chutz La'aretz, in the darkness, in the Tumah of Chutz La'aretz, of Galut. Why do Jews there say next year in Jerusalem, Shana haba b'Yerushalayim, if they don't have any intention to be there, to live here, to feel it? The minhag, it is. But the minhag comes from a time when we couldn't go to Yerushalayim, we couldn't visit Yerushalayim, we couldn't go to Israel. So in such a case, that's not the emes, it comes from the wrong. It's wrong. No kesher, it's a sheker, it's not true, because you're not longing for Yerushalayim. You're not longing for Yerushalayim, for Israel, because then you would be here in Israel. So now, in Chodesh Elul, like Baruch Hashem, I'm living in Israel, and I'm also saying every year, B'shana b'Yerushalayim habnuya, but for me, Yerushalayim habnuya is the Beis HaMikdash. Like it's more, it's on the Ruchniot level, and I can feel it, I can grab it, because I'm living here. I know what Yerushalayim is, and I know what I'm missing in Yerushalayim. A Jew living in the darkness, in the Tumah of Galut, doesn't know what is missing at all, because he doesn't even know what Yerushalayim is. You can't long for the Ruchnut part of Yerushalayim if you don't even know what's there and you don't want to be a part of what's here now. Then you can long for something else. It's like, how can you have a need, a desire for a fancy schmancy limousine car if you don't even have a driver license and you can't even drive a car? Like, then you can, because first, like, you need a car. Like when you're driving a car and you can, oh, wow, I really want a limousine, I want a fancy car, but first I have to have a car to really understand what the car is. The same with Yerushalayim. To be able to understand what Yerushalayim is, you have to be here in Israel to understand, and then you can long for Yerushalayim. If you're not here, if you decide to live by your own free will in the darkness, in the tumah of Galut, then you can long because you don't even know what you have, what you don't have, because you decided by yourself to not have it. You decided Yerushalayim is not for me, I don't care, it's not relevant for me, for one or many reasons, and no reason is good enough really today. And then it comes now to Chodesh Elul. We can make the change. We can decide, we can decide, I'm making Aliyah, I'm moving to Israel. I want to be a part of it. I don't want to live in Sheker. I don't want to live with a big lie where I'm saying like words that doesn't mean anything for me. It's just like a minhag, and the minhag is not even relevant any longer. Sheker. So you can decide in the word of Sheker or the word of Emes. In the word of Sheker, you can't never be a frum Jew. You can't. And this comes together like when we're davening as well, like when you say like Yerushalayim, v'techzena b'shucha letzion v'rachamim, Yerushalayim yichal v'rachamim tashuv, like you long for Yerushalayim, you have no clue what Yerushalayim is. Why do you say it? Why do you mention Yerushalayim when you're davening? Like when you mention, when saying like Ein Shalosh, it's a sheker. You don't want to be here, don't say it. You can't long for anything that you don't care about. But now we have Chodesh Elul, and you have the possibility to make the change, to make the real tshuva, to be a real Jew. And to be a real Jew is to live in Israel, where God wants you to live. God doesn't want you to live in Muncie or in Manchester or in London or in Melbourne. Ibishter doesn't care about the Beis Midrash in Muncie. He rather prefers small yeshiva somewhere in the desert in Eretz Israel and a fancy Beis Midrash, because it's disconnected from the ruchnut and from the ikr of life. So now, Elul, Chodesh Elul, make tshuva, make the real tshuva, and reflect on yourself and ask, why have I been lying to myself my whole life and not moving to Israel? I have to make the change now. I have to move now because I want to be a real Haimish Yid. I want to be a real Jew, a religious Jew. I want to do God's will, Ratzon Hashem. That's to make the move now. Do you have any reason not to do it? No, you don't. And don't say like, yeah, but I have education, I have a job, and I have a good income, I have everything. That's a gashmiut. Gashmiut. That's avodah zarah. That kills people. But you don't have Yerushalayim. You don't have Hebron. You have nothing there. Because richness in Judaism is a ruchnut. It's not a gashmiut. Because as we all know, ad 120, but when we die and buried, kulam shavim. It doesn't matter if you had a big house, a big car, a fancy car. I don't know what you didn't have. That doesn't judge you. Make a cheshbon on your gashmut life. You make a cheshbon on your ruchnut life, and everything you're doing in the Holy Land is worth so much more than in Galut. Mamish. So make the real tshuva. So Besrat Hashem, on Motzei Yom Kippur, when you're standing b'Shana B'Yerushalayim HaBenuya, either you're moving tomorrow or already moved to Israel to be a real Jew, to be an emistic Jew, to be the Jew that the Eibishter wants you to be, and not to be a kind of a Jew that whose ikar is the Gashmiut, and secondary things are the Ruchniut. And no excuses needed. No excuses for this one. I hope all of us will have a good Chodesh Elul, to strive to become better people, better Jews, to get closer to the Eibishter, to be better husbands, fathers, everything. And to do Ratzon Hashem, to move to the land of Israel. That when we say B'Shana B'Yerushalayim HaBenuya, it's from the inside, that's the emes, and it's not the sheker. I wish you all a good day.